everybody. Oh gosh, it is so, or is that just my bits? Oh, there, that may just be my screen. Hey everybody. I hope we are all doing really, really well. This is going to be a discussion of support, the divine support of the female and male energies. Hello everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome to today's lessons of Sunday guidance and readings and discussions. So it's lovely to see everybody. Hello my gorgeous ones. Good evening if you are across the pond there. Hi Carolina. Hi Sweet Pea. Oh, hi Gina, it's lovely to see everybody. I see Master Ordon, I see Jared, I see Ange, I see Aurora, Virgin, hello sweetheart. It is lovely to see everybody. Everybody's good evenings, man, shoot. I'm like, where I am, it's 2 o'clock. So that's cool. Rupert, hello sweetheart. It's lovely to see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Gosh, the beautiful Ortho is here as well, and the wonderful Sarah. This is fantastic. Hey, my gorgeous ones. Alrighty then. So thank you so much, Rupert. I really appreciate it. Like I say, I don't really do my hair very often, but I felt the need to switch it up, which is usually around the times that I'm breaking cycles and creating new ones, right? All right. Fabulous stuff. So, everybody, in today's Sunday's readings and guidance, what I wanted to talk about was support. All right. How many of you, hold your hands up, have been in relationships, or when you are dealing with it doesn't really matter whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a platonic relationship, family relationships with friends, but you know, you really need some support. Now, here's the thing. A lot of us don't actually know what kind of support we need. So what happens is we go around in circles going, I really need this, but not actually knowing what it is we truly need to help us grow in that moment, right? Now, also, what tends to happen is there's a lot of us who like to give our support at the same time. But unfortunately, when we give our support, we don't always come back with the kind of results that we wanted. Or we give out a lot of our support and our energy, and the other individual may not appreciate it or may not accept it in the way that we are giving it, right? So at the end of the day, we kind of get a little bit frustrated at the same time. Oh, hello. Sorry, but let's just say hi to everybody. Carolina, you need this lesson. Excellent. I hope so. Big love to everybody. Thank you so much, Orthoa. Hello, Delane. I hope you're doing well and feeling good. Arune, hello, sweetheart. Hello. Victoria, it's lovely to see you. Joyce, hello. All right, then, my gorgeous ones. Now, you'll have to forgive my lighting. It is still daytime lighting, and it's the clouds are over there, so it just means that I don't have any lamps. So we kind of have to work with the lighting that we have. Anywho, so within this part of the discussion, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about support. Hopefully everybody gets an understanding of it, and then we will proceed on to readings and guidance. So get your questions ready, and your questions could be absolutely anything. They could be questions about the universe, questions about your development, curiosity, or inner work questions or things that have been on your mind. So get those ones ready, and we will go through that after we go through some support. So firstly, now that I've got you all here, let's talk about a little bit about support. So this is open to the men and the women. Everybody answer as best as you can when you can answer it. All right. So firstly, the divine support. All right. Now, when I say support between men and women right now, and when I say divine support, we have a little bit of a difference that goes with it. Now, because a lot of hi Stefan, sweetheart. Oh, hi. Tell him I say hi and give him cuddles. Now, when we normally think of support right now, what is the first things that you think of? So, for the men and women out there, let's go with females first. When we think of, okay, we need to support her, whether that be as a friend or whether that be as a lover or a partner, what is your definition of support, or how do you give support to an individual? While I'm waiting for your answers, I'll start you off at least. One of the ways that the average lady gets supported is through finance. Or I'll say material. Now, don't get me wrong. Many ladies nowadays can support themselves financially and materially just absolutely fine. However, we're not talking about what actually happens yet. We're talking about what is in the mindset that we have when we are thinking about supporting females. All right? Carolina, you say comfort. That's true. Providing a comfortable space. And Vladimira, listening. Yes. Now, you guys got to bear me. Remember, I am writing backwards at the same time. So I'm going to go as fast as I can, but still. All right. How are some other ways that we think of supporting females? All right. What are other ways? Master Onoloka, you say listening to her heart when she needs it in the moment. Respect. Right. Heart. Listening. I'm just going to put listen, heart listen, and respect. Now, respect can be given or shown in very, very many ways, but we will put it in there as well. And Vladimira, you say just to be there. And Ange, you say reflect back what is seen and said. Okay, so reflection. No, that's not how you spell reflection. I don't know, whatever we're doing, we're going to just put it like that. Reflection, and let's have a look here, go back to that, and just being there. I'm going to put being present then, Vladimira. Being present, okay, fantastic. Jared, encouraging someone when they hesitate to do things they're very capable of or doubt and don't believe in themselves. That's the support I look for on a woman. Ah, right. So, Jared, that's what you are looking for from a lady. All right. So we're going to actually put that down on the male section here, which is encouragement. I'll put down that. Okay, encouragement, wonderful. Aruna, you are saying honesty. Perfect, perfect. Orton, undivided attention and truly listening when needed. Yes, I'll put that down as, or that kind of comes under being there, and listening. And you know what? Let's also put down focus, honesty, and just focus. You know, because a lot of the times, right, we don't realize how valuable simply our focus is, you know, in terms of our attention that we are giving. However that comes, but I'll put that down as focus. So that's one thing. That's beautiful. Jared, trust and loyalty is huge to me mutually in both ways. Right, so that we will put down as for the male as well. Now we've got quite a few points there for the female. So yeah, let's go down and loyalty. Loyalty. Okay, perfect, you guys. Excellent. We've got loads of different things for the female here. So I put down financial and material. You guys put down comfort, listening, heart listening specifically. So not just listening to the words, but listening to the heart. Respect, reflection upon the words and the things that have been spoken. Being present, you know, being here in the moment and focus. Honesty, you know, speaking truthfully, and loyalty. So these are some of the ways that we can that we can support females. Now, when it comes to men, all right, oops, sorry guys. Okay, so let's have a look here. So for the men, loyalty, we've got that communication, nurturing. Now I'm gonna put down nurturing for the guys as well, because that's definitely a big thing. Women also do need some nurturing, but you know, we'll put that down as well. All right, so for the guys, yes, let's have a look here. Guys also need loyalty. All right. Ivan, you say her being part of big projects like business participation, getting into the guys' oneness. All right. Oh, yes, Vladimir, no judgment. So how would we put that down there, Ivan? Participation. Or, yeah. Or I'll put down being involved, right? Involved. All right, involved, non-judgmental, so, well, I guess I'll put that down as encouragement, really, because to be non-judgmental is just accepting. There we go. All right, we can do that there. Involved, perfect. Okay, so Ivan, you say guy and girl worship. Now, do you mean worshiping together and being on the same page together? That's a way that we can be supportive of the male, or just give me a little bit more on that. Or do you mean worship each other? Ross, definitely nurturing. So we got that up there. And but hello, sweet pea. Tolerant. Okay, Ivan, you're popping there. Tolerant. Okay. All right, we've got a good list going down. Good list going down. So tell me a little bit more, guys. How do you want to be supported? What do you need in terms of support? Vladimir, freedom. Right, that's a good one. That is a good one, being free, or it's hard because you can't really allow somebody else to be free because they are free already, but encouraging their freedom, that is definitely something we can pop down there. And Ivan, worshiping each other. So I'll put that down more so as, I'll put that down as, because that kind of comes through, you know, in terms of focus, honesty, and so forth. Worshipping is not necessarily something that is, you know, you give your support through worshiping another individual. It's more so it kind of goes in with all of these kinds of things together, I think. Thou shalt only worship one God. Man and woman are God. Low level. You know, when we look at that, this is another kind of topic when we come to that, but we are all fractalized pieces of God, of the divine, right, of source. So we must worship ourselves the way that we need to, right? All that devotion, love, and so forth. Okay, I'm getting on to other things. I'm going to try to keep focused. And Orton, respected. All right, respect is there as well. All right. Okay. Perfect. Hello, Clariston. It's wonderful to see you. I'm getting all hot right here, so I'm going to take off my bits. All right, you guys. So we've got some beautiful examples. Unless we have any more that we want to put for the guys over here. All right. Anything else that we want to put for the guys? Serena, to be heard and deep connection, touch. Many need touch to feel truly supported. Serena, that is a fantastic point. Thank you so much. Touch. All right. I really like that one there, and we're going to go through that as well. Ivan, noticed. I'm going to put that down as being seen as well. All right. To truly be seen by another individual. Right, and Nicole, so you say being a team player, that's how you can support. So I think that is, I'll just put that down as team player. Okay, perfect. I have now ran out of room. So we're going to work off of these things to begin with. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted you guys to give me a list of what you believe support is, right, is because there is a fine line between support and also catering to insecurity, right? Let's think of support in itself. Why do we want support? It's not that we want support to stay within bad or broken cycles, right? Because let's face it, that's what a lot of people do, right? They are in cycles that are tremendously unhealthy for them. And what they're looking for, what their ego is looking for in that moment, is support to hold up a foundation that is trying to crumble under the weight of truth and love, right? That's basically what a lot of people are looking for support for. Now, here's the thing. We're not talking about supporting the ego today, right? Between the female and male counterparts. We're talking about divine support. All right? How do we support each other as the gods and goddesses that we are, who are discovering ourselves within truth, love, enlightenment, and all of this good shit? Because if you're watching my lessons, I'm not going to be telling you how to support your ego, right? I'm not going to be telling you that, because I'm here to give you some information to demolish that bitch, right? That's what we're doing today. So let's get into this. Let's go down all of these things and try to decipher which points are actually supporting the ego versus supporting your divine growth and development. All right? See, you guys are thinking I'm going to start to be all lovey-dovey and everything. It's like, nah, I'm going to switch this shit up on you. Okay, so firstly, let's have a look at what it is the divine feminine is, and then we're going to look at the divine masculine as well. I'm just going to push my bit out here because I'm not going to use the whiteboard for a second. So let's have a look here. Ivan, you say, common ego means self-actualizing. Well, the ego is what really causes you a lot of pain and suffrage. It's based on a lot of fears, conformity, insecurities, and so forth, right? So when we actually realize ourselves and understand ourselves, that is a process of shedding the ego and becoming the divine individual that you really are. Orthoa, yes, they find friends, mirrors in the same cycle. There's no growth in that for me. Bingo, right? Nadine, hello, we have to show no fear, be confident. Exactly, and this is how we do it. So let's have a look here at what it is that the divine feminine, all right? Now, when we look at divine feminine, what does that actually mean? Okay, well, for one, feminine energy is that of nurturing. Where do we have that? Down, oh, sorry. There we go. The divine feminine is of nurturing, right? The divine masculine is of creation. Now, you may be thinking like, well, wait a second. The females create too. Of course we do create. However, when it comes to the balancing of energies, which we all have within ourselves, when we are more so in our divine feminine energy, we give off of a very strong nurturing energy. Yes, we can create, and we do so all day and every day. However, our energy is very, very suited to nurturing and growing at the end of the day. So what does that mean? Well, the divine feminine energy has an abundance of wisdom and knowledge. We are ones that are connected to the ethereal, right? This is why in so many ancient practices, women were revered. We were priestesses. You know, we were sacred and holy individuals because we brought forth life and we nurtured that life. Whenever there was a king, right? Think of ancient Egypt and so forth. Whenever there was a pharaoh, there was always a woman behind him, or not behind him, beside him, supporting him, because we give that nurture, right? So we tend to offer a lot of support when it comes to our wisdom, and our guidance and how we grow in that sense, right? So now let's look at this list that we have here and see how that is actually corresponding to the divine feminine. All right? So, and also, as a bonus as well, just for you guys that are out there, I wanted to go through when a lady is at one of her times in the month on her cycle, how best you can actually support her during that time too, right? All right, okay. So let's have a look here. I'm just going to read some of these as well before we do this. All right. Hey, Rosie. Ivan, you need to face the ego to advance, or else you stay shy or shallow or shadow. Yeah, exactly, sweet pea. Jared, to just believe that there's a woman out there that wants to give without manipulation and wants to build each other up instead of having selfish, hidden motives. But that's the thing, Jared, right? If we don't understand how to support each other, what we do is we tend to let the ego eat us, right? Or control our movements, and then we don't know how to support each other. Clareston, I have fear and the ego eating me, and I won't let it do it. Good. Nadine, to thine self be true. Exactly. And Vladimira, chocolate. Yeah, I agree. That's how you get over a period. Okay, so let's have a look here. When it comes to financial or material support, is that support of a woman of the divine feminine? Personally, you guys can give out your opinion, but I'm going to say a no on that one. Many women do not actually need financial or material support. We have so many capabilities that we are able to do that for ourselves. So when we are seeking financial and material support, that is one of the ego. All right? Now, don't get me wrong, everybody needs a little support financially, materially, but is it a need to help us grow as individuals? No, technically we don't need it as the divine feminine. Comfort. Comfort, let's have a look here. Do we require, as the divine feminine, support within our comfort? Let me know if you believe that this one requires support, right? Comfort. Carolina, how does the male support the female during her time? Oh, we're going to get into that in just a moment. But you guys tell me what is your perspective? Now, when we think of being comfortable, right? What makes an individual comfortable? Now, me as a female, what makes me comfortable is personally being by myself. I like to just chill the hell out, light my candles, put my music on, sip on my cup of tea or my water, have a little bit of chocolate here and there, and that's where I personally am comfortable. Now, Virgin, you say yes, a female does need support being comfortable. Right? Tell us a little bit about why. Why do you have that perspective? Right? Or where did it come from? And by the way, there is no right or wrong answers in this. So please share your opinion, share your perspective. This is what we require as individuals, right? Now, personally, for me, I don't think I don't need support in being comfortable, right? Because to be comfortable for myself as the divine feminine, I just simply got to be myself, right? So I'm going to wait for your guys' perspective on that one, but I'm going to put that down as I'm going to underline it right now. Okay? So I'm going to underline that. And I'm going to come back to any other comments. Listening. Listening. Now, do we believe or do we know that the divine feminine energy requires listening as part of a support system? Now, when you have an individual listen to you, right, what is that actually creating within yourself? Ladies, tell us what happens when a male counterpart or somebody else simply listens to you. Nicole, it's nice to have the option, but we can do it ourselves when it comes to the comfort. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It is very nice, but technically we have to know what it is that makes us comfortable in the first place and then just go do it, right? Vladimira, yes? Okay, so we definitely need some listening. How does it make you feel? Clareston, it takes a lot of courage being comfortable alone. That's true. That's true. However, what is it? Comfort. Comfort is simply just being at ease. So there you go. Carolina, love. Now, if you're going to be putting down there, creates a connection. The listening, yes. The listening definitely does create a connection. And that connection can lead to a lot of things. Comfort with self is necessary for growth. Or Thoa, absolutely. Absolutely. Ivan, yeah, comfortable is the only thing I have to offer her. I know that's one area she needs me for sure. If I listen, I know how to deal with what she says, even the surprises. Very, very true. Very, very true. Nadine, you feel beautiful. Well, are you saying that I feel beautiful specifically myself, or that listening helps you to feel beautiful? Because I think those are both two very good answers. So, for me, I would definitely put listening down as yes. That it is wonderful to be heard. Now, one thing with the divine feminine energy is we have so much information that comes through the ethereal. One of our purposes is to express that information as it comes through. You know, women's intuition, that's not just a saying for no reason. It is because we are very so connected to the ethereal. We are very connected to our intuition, to our abilities, to our feelings, right? And one of the things that we must do as the divine feminine is to literally just simply express it, right? So listening is incredibly important when it comes to showing support for the divine feminine. So I think that one is definitely a go on there. That will produce more results in terms of growth, right? Okay, let's go down to heart listening, right? Master Onaloka mentioned heart listening. Now, what's the difference between just listening and heart listening? Well, normally listening comes through the verbal, right? It comes through the verbal, where we're just simply hearing this lovely lady express. Now, when it comes to heart listening, that actually combines a little bit more of focus, right? And honesty. So I'll put that in there. It can also come through with reflection and being present. All right? Now, heart listening, feelings, exactly, Vladimira. When you are listening to the divine feminine's heart, it means that you are simply seeing her in that moment. You are feeling what it is that she's going through at that moment, whatever that may be, whether it's happiness, whether it is joy, whether it is focused on raising something or doing something, right? Whatever that may be, it may be her development, it may be what it is that she wants. It's feeling where her heart is in that moment, which is, I definitely think, a fantastic way of supporting the divine female. So I'm going to put that down there as well. All right. Clariston, understanding. Hello, Teresa, by the way. Hello. Right. Listening and open communication are needs in a relationship for me. Definitely, Nicole. I definitely agree with that one. Open. Being very, very open. Right. Now, understanding, Clariston. Understanding. That is a little bit different. Right. Because all we can do is express ourselves as the divine feminine as best as we possibly can. Now, whether we are understood or not does come from the other individual's level of awareness within that. However, we cannot always guarantee understanding because it really does depend on the other individual. But what we can do is at least express ourselves within truth and honesty as much as we possibly can. So that's what I'll say on that one. Now, so we've got comfort is, I'll say again, it's not necessary, it's nice, but it's not necessarily something we need for support, right? Usually, if we are listening, if we are being listened to, our hearts are being considered and listened to at that point. That's when comfort starts to come, right? So comfort's more of the verb rather than the noun, if that makes sense, or the adjective. Respect. let's go on to respect. How would you say, as the divine feminine, respect is how you gain support through respect? All right? How would you gain support through respect? And don't worry, guys, we are going to go on to the divine male as well in just a minute. But for me, anyway, I really, do I need personally, myself, respect in order to be supported? Not really. I really don't. Because I know that if I'm not respected, I simply don't focus on whatever is giving me disrespect. So, for example, if an individual does not respect my time, does not respect my focus, or does not respect my presence, then I simply will not give it to them, right? But it doesn't actually affect me or within my growth. It is more so the awareness of knowing when to say no that supports my growth, but that's my own self-care, right? So I'm going to say, I'm not going to actually put down, I'm going to take that one away and just be like, respect is not necessarily something you need in terms of support. It's something you command within your own being, and that is both for the men and women, all right? So I just want you to think, right? If you are in a relationship or you are with another individual, it doesn't have to be, again, romantic. It could be platonic or within a family members or this or that, right? If somebody is not giving you respect, why would you focus on them in the first place, right? Sorry, if they're not giving you respect. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things that naturally comes, right? And it's whether you put up with it or not. Clareston, conveying in simplest way is a skill. I make everything complex, still learning simple expression. But you know what, Clareston? When you take off that, I'm going to say that muzzle, you know, that society and conformity and family has put upon you, that you are not supposed to speak your mind, when you simply say F it and start speaking, right? You'll find that the complexities become simple because you're letting your divine energy through thought and cognizance flow out of you at that point, right? So it's no longer pooling in there, causing a huge havoc of whatever, and you get it out really easily, right? And that's the beauty of it. So anyway, we'll get on that one. Now, reflection. Let's look at the point of reflection, how we support the divine feminine. Reflection is a fantastic point, you know? To be able to sit in front of a lady and reflect upon the actions or the words or the experiences that have been experienced or felt is a very, very, very important thing. Because this is something that we as the divine feminine do. As Clareston mentioned too, when we do not express ourselves, when we don't have somebody, or if we feel that we are not listened to, whether that is verbally or through our heart, the energy still comes in and it starts to pool, right? And as it starts to pool, it can get really confusing for us up in here. And as it gets super confusing, well, we now need to unravel all that energy, unravel those cords and let it flow out. And reflection and being able to reflect with an individual is a fantastic way of support, right? Because it helps us to help ourselves at the same time. Because that's really what a lot of women need. We don't need to be taken care of. We just need help so that we can take care of ourselves. Because that's literally what we do. We nurture, we grow, and we just need help taking care of ourselves in that moment. So I think reflection is a wonderful, wonderful point when it comes to support. Ivan, if people don't respect themselves, I know they won't respect me. So, yeah, that's it. But again, that's all about who you decide to give your focus to, right? But we're talking about growth. Okay. Being present, right? Being present is, again, and focus. So I think being present and focus kind of go hand in hand as well. Now, would I say that that is very, very good support for the divine feminine? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because why is it so important to be focused and in there in the moment? And a lot of guys, I know you could probably be like, yeah, I know that. Is because ladies are usually taking in so much information right? We calculate like a mother. We rarely forget shit, right? And the thing is, because we are taking in so much and we have this whirl of emotion that goes through, we notice when the other individual is not present there with us. And it actually triggers a lot of annoyance, right? It goes back up into making us feel like we're not being listened or heard, whether that be through our heart or through our voices, right? And then if we don't feel like an individual is even giving us the time of day to focus on us, to give us their full focus, right? Then again, we just have that pooling information, right? And it's hard for us to express it, right? So being there, being present, and giving that focus, that quality focus, is incredibly fantastic support for the Divine Feminine. Very, very good. Very good. Ivan, because you don't miss a thing, being present, being percent means you turn into a natural comedian. Being present means you turn into a natural comedian. Well, I think it depends on the individual. Some people like to, others don't. It's up to you, but it depends on the individual and the support at the time, right? So I love it. All right. So I'm going to put those together there. So that's a wonderful thing. Honesty, definitely. Definitely. Let's remember that a lot of ladies, a lot of the Divine Feminine are very, very in tune with their empathy and also their seership. Being honest is something we feel more than we actually process up here. Like, we feel honesty before we even know it at that time, right? And when another individual, again, doesn't matter if it is a romantic relationship or a family relationship, when another individual is honest with me or with the Divine Feminine, right? We immediately can, it helps us to process, again, more of the information, right? When we are faced with lies, that's further blockage of our intuition, because our intuition runs off of honesty. It really does. Truth and development, that is what nurturing is. And when we are part of the Divine Feminine, that's literally what we do. So if we are faced with lies, we can forget we can like not even focus on the bigger issue. Now all we're focused on is that damn lie. And we're like, and the reason behind why the lie is there in the first place, right? So honesty is a fantastic way of support. Right? A fantastic way of support. Ivan, being honest lets off a scent that women smell, and it takes balls to be 24/7 honest. That's me. You know what, Ivan, I like you. I really, really do like you. It gives off, a lie gives off not only a scent, but a vibration of just wrong, right? That goes through. And this is the thing, though. So many men or so many individual, when we know that lie is happening, we will focus right in on you. And we will be looking at you like, why are you lying? Right? Why? And it can be very intimidating. It really, really can. And because the Divine Masculine, which we're going to go through this in a minute, has a very, very inept ability to feel a woman, it can be very scary, because when we focus all of that intuition on you, it's like we'll stare right into your soul and make you account for it, right? But this is why we need it, though, because as much as we need this honesty, we need our Divine Masculine, we need our men to not be scared of our intuition, and to have that ferocity with us to be honest 24/7, because that's how we grow, right? And that's how we know, and that's how we flow, right? So honesty, definitely. Loyalty. Is loyalty a way of support? Now, some of you ladies are going to be like, I heavily disagree with you, Kulipup, because I need my man or my family members or my children or whoever is in my life within a relationship to be loyal to me. And I am saying, no. Loyalty does not actually support your growth and your development. Loyalty is actually a complacency within your ego, right? It means that you are attaching so much to an individual that you are requesting that they be with you and only you, right? Which is actually very negligent to their own personal growth, right? Because at the end of the day, someone, if they want to be with you, if they are listening to you, my divine feminine, if they are listening to your heart, your words and your heart, they are able to reflect back with you. They are being there in the moment, present, and they are being honest, right? That's the stuff you need for your growth. To hold them to you, that's actually being a bit selfish, right? Because you do not own anybody, and they do not own you, right? So requesting loyalty, or though, as you say, loyalty has nothing to do with growth, exactly, right? It is all about the ego at that point. Now, that, again, a lot of people, they're not ready for that, because when they get into a relationship or they're with a partner, their insecurities say that if you're with anybody else, it means that you don't love me, right? And that's just not true. However, like, don't get me wrong, there's loads of dynamics that go within a relationship and so forth and everything like that. But still, for example, myself, I would never request anybody's loyalty to me, right? Because I know if they only focus on me, then they are missing out on growth from wherever it comes, right? And I would never want that for my divine masculine. You know, never ever want that. Because that stops him from being him. Now, here's the thing though. I'll put it this way. If he's listening to my words, listening to my heart, reflecting with me, being present and giving me his focus and being honest with me, guess what's going to happen? Because he's given me that support, oh, my heart is going to open up. And as my heart opens up, he's going to get the full force of Kulipup at that time. Or the divine feminine in any one of you. He will get so much love, development, all that honesty, all that reflection, all that truth, all that listening is going to unlock all of the divine feminine's intuition. It is going to open up so much to his world that you will not have to demand his loyalty, because he will be there because he wants to be, right? And for no other reason, right? So you get me? Why I'm just like, loyalty, that does not work. That does not work. Okay, Vladimir, that's be boring. Right? When you just, man, the force in things. And when I say force, it's just like holding on. And it's like, that's not growth, man. Ivan, I learned everything I know because I listened to women. There you go, right? And it also makes you incredibly attractive to women at the same time, right? Which then allows you to choose the one that's right for you. And same thing with the divine feminine. And make room for levity and grace. I agree. It's beautiful. Okay. So, and the last part that we have for the divine feminine is nurturing. That we need nurturing in order for support to be there. And I'll tell you this, right? What is nurturing? Right? Nurturing is literally focus. Focus and consideration, right? So I'm actually going to say that yes, nurturing actually takes on a lot of forms of these guys up here, right? It involves focus, being there, honesty, being able to reflect, and listening, right? Which will equal up to a place of comfort, by the way, right? So nurturing is definitely something that really does help a lady when it comes to her own growth, right? The divine feminine. However, it is not really the same nurturing as you have for a male, right? And I want you to think, when you are nurturing women, let's put it this way. When you are nurturing a child, right? What is it that you're doing? Okay? The first thing that you do is you are considering that child. You are taking care of them. You're making sure that they're fed, that they're safe, that they're clothed. You know, you're making sure that they are going out and getting some exercise. You're making sure that they have everything that they require in order for them to grow big, strong, and healthy, right? Now, the divine feminine, we have all of that ability to give that to ourselves. It's part of our energy, right? But what we need is this kind of nurturing, right? That's the kind of nurturing we need. Because at the end of the day, the majority of us, because we are giving out so very much, taking care of so many individuals, we forget to listen to ourselves. We forget to listen to our heart. We don't really reflect back on what makes us unhappy so that we can correct it. And we often do not stay in the present moment because we are here, there, and everywhere, going everywhere else, right? So when we do have that support where somebody can bring us back to ourselves by listening, we definitely do grow. All right, so nurturing, that's something for sure. Alrighty, any more comments based on the divine feminine and support? All right, and we're going to go into how to support each other within our individual abilities as well. But if not, we're going to go on to the men. So, we have here encouragement. Men, you've said that in order to, or the support that you feel that you need is encouragement. Okay? How do we feel about that? Does a man need encouragement in order to have support? And I think, personally, yes. Encouragement is a wonderful way to support the divine male, right? Because it is part of our nurturing energy that we are giving as the divine female to the divine masculine, right? To say, hey, you're doing a good job. Now, let's look at, before I go into that specifically, let's have a quick look at what the divine masculine is. Now, if you've heard me speak about this before, the divine masculine is part of creation. That male energy is very solid, right? Where they're just like, they don't follow patterns, or no, they can get into a cycle that has been set, don't get me wrong. But this is why you get a lot of ladies who are just like, oh, men can be so stubborn, you know, although women can be stubborn too. But, you know, they're like, oh, a guy can be so stubborn, or I don't know why he doesn't do this, or he thinks this on a way, very logically in a box, you know, and all of those kinds of bits. And it's because in order to create, you need to be very solid in what it is that you want, in what it is that you are trying to create, and not be swayed. And this is why a lot of masculine energy, a lot of testosterone is like, no, I will do this. I've got this. And then there's some of us ladies going like, oh, wow. Why can't you just work together and be harmonious? Well, it's part of the divine masculine. That strength to be like, no, I'm an unmoving mountain. I am creating in this moment. Right? Now, also, the divine masculine is a supporter of life. All right, so once the creation has been done, once the seed has been planted, usually it's up to the lady then to take upon the nurturing. And once that nurturing is started, it is up to the divine masculine to support that life. All right? So what do they tend to like to do? They like to provide. A lot of the divine masculine really like to provide. They have a lot of physical energy in the material, right, for this purpose. You know, when they're in the womb, when a man is literally, or a boy, a male is in the womb is actually very, very, very harsh. It is a harsher environment because it is raising strength, right? Strength in the material. A lot of men are obstinate and feel so very, very deeply. They are very planted to this material. Just as the divine feminine is up in the ethereal, men are here in the material because it is here where they can support life, right? They can support our nurturing that is going through, right? And this is how we coincide and work together. So, encouragement, definitely. I think that is a wonderful point. All right? Encouragement. Right. Now, how do we encourage, and guys, please get up on in this. You know, tell us how, and this is your time to really tell us how these points really help in your support and how they make you feel at the same time. Because we all got to learn how to work together on this one. Okay, but encouragement, right? When we encourage the divine masculine, it gives them a little bit of an energy boost to let them know that they're going in the right direction, right? Positive reinforcement helps. Unfortunately, a lot of guys don't get positive reinforcement or encouragement. They get told they are not doing enough. They get told that they are worthless, that they're good for nothing, you know. They get told that they're just not good enough, right? And usually that's because it is programmed within them to be a certain way. Now here's the thing, the divine masculine needs focus and direction, right? The energy, right? And it's usually the wisdom of the feminine that helps guide and focus the energy of creation within the masculine. But that's not happening. Right now, they are being manipulated and used. And this is why so many of you ladies literally complain that, you know, he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. And it's because they need that direction. They need the truth, the wisdom, to point away from all the manipulation that is using their power for destruction more than it is, and subservience more than it is for growth and development. Because when the divine male really does support life and support the divine feminine, we grow so incredibly quickly. Like, not just as individuals, but as a species, right? Women, we are very strong. We are incredibly strong. But we don't actually even recognize or realize just how powerful the divine masculine is when they have the support that they need. And it's not even a lot that they require. Just a little positive reinforcement, you know, goes a really long way. So I'm going to put encouragement up there for definite sure. Alrighty. Let's go on the next one. Trust. Trust. The divine male is saying that I need trust in order to have support. Now, what are your thoughts on that one? I'm kind of like in a little bit of an iffy one on that one. Because when you have... trust is something that is produced through your actions, right? It's kind of like when ladies are like, I need loyalty. And for a guy, it's just like, I need trust. But the thing is, trust comes from the truth behind your energy. Trust comes from the actions that you put out there, right? And when it comes to supporting life, I'm not saying that we need proof, but we definitely, trust is something that is earned at the same time. Like, I wouldn't expect anybody to trust me. I'd be like, hey, look, I'm gonna let my actions, let my energy speak for itself. And then you can choose to either follow my guidance and my wisdom, or you can go elsewhere. But either way, it is something that is felt, right? Vladimira, more beliefs. Yes, there's a lot of beliefs because it has a lie in it, right? So to trust somebody comes from the feeling. So I'm going to kind of put that as, that's more like the comfort. But definitely when you have earned the trust, or when you've gained the trust of another individual, it can definitely lead more into positive encouragement. So I would actually say this, right? If the divine masculine requires trust in order to be supported in that moment where he's just like, you know what, babes, I've got this. Just trust me, right? Now, if you, the divine feminine, have accepted this individual, if you have trusted him enough to, let's say, bear your children, then give him that positive encouragement and that trust and see what happens, right? Because usually you'll see a beauty of creation come through to you, right? However, if he is just a guy off the street who's going, trust me, and hasn't done anything, then, to put that out there, then you can kind of be like, all right. But literally, if you've trusted this individual enough in certain aspects, then that trust can go a long way. Okay. Nurturing. This is another one. Let's have a look at nurturing in this way. Oh, Orthoa, loyalty and trust come naturally. Again, not needed for growth. Right. So that's why I'm like, I'll put that down as comfort. Because literally it's like when you have everything up in here, trust usually comes out of it. Right? That's what it is. Okay. So let's have a look at nurturing. Now, this is actually a pretty big one. My ladies, please listen up. Our guys, and I'm definitely not saying the divine masculine does not know how to take care of himself. He definitely does. Many of the divine masculine, because of their connection to earth, do definitely, they feel so very much. So once they have that kind of direction as to whether they find it within themselves, which I hope they find it within themselves and their hearts, or whether they find it out there, here, there, or anywhere, they definitely do know how to take care of themselves and listen to their own body. However, with so much confusion going on in the world and everything like that, how do we nurture our divine masculine? We take care of them, all right? This is literally what it is. We take care of them. And it's not always about, our nurturing doesn't always come through in a way of, well, I need to take care of them like I take care of children. Because to be honest with you, that's exactly how a lot of women nurture their men or the divine masculine, is they take care of them like children. And the thing is, that doesn't always lead to a positive result of growth because they are still men, right? We need to respect them the way that they need that respect as full-blown adults, right? So our nurturing comes from us taking care of them, taking care of their hearts, and speaking our truth, when they are listening to us, when they are listening to our heart, when they are going through reflection, and when they are being present and honest with us. It allows us to then focus on them, right? And as we give them our focus, we will notice things. We'll be able to track, of course, well, what is their eating habit like? Where is their energy going? How can I help my divine masculine in that moment? Sometimes it may just be like, not necessarily cooking all their meals for them, but just being like, hey, I think your body needs some extra lettuce. And that's it, right? Giving them our wisdom, giving them our guidance and our focus in that moment, but also respecting them as the men that they are, right? And the power that they behold within them. We cannot expect to command respect, to command honesty, to command all of these things, and to just be like, look, I can take care of myself, I can take care of absolutely everything, if we are not going to give them the same respect at the same time, right? If we're not going to give them the same consideration and allow them to grow and get their strength and everything going at the same time. So nurturing, definitely, that is definitely a support that our divine masculine requires. And again, it doesn't always come through a physical, but we just need to take care of them with our wisdom and our knowledge. Tell them what we see, right? Be honest and open. That strength and that ferocity we have when we can tell a lie when we see it, well, we just need to speak it, because at the end of the day, that's what most men need, right? Is for us to simply speak our honesty and give them the nurturing that they require. However that may come. And sometimes the truth of that nurturing is simply a hug, too. It can just be to be held. Sometimes they just need to feel our energy and our presence in order to just get a little bit of just like, release the oasis, and then go back out there and tackle the entire world, right? So, nurturing for sure. Loyalty. Like I say, with the divine feminine loyalty, we are going to scratch off because, like I mentioned, a man does not need loyalty in order to grow. He needs acceptance of his self. He needs guidance with his energy and his wisdom, and some nurturing support, positive encouragement, which will hopefully then lead into trust. All right? So loyalty, we'll just get rid of that. To be involved. For you to be involved in whatever it is, their ventures that they are doing, or to be there to show your support and everything like that. Now, is that something that a man truly needs in order, or the divine male, do they truly need you to be involved? That one comes under a little bit like trust, right? Because technically, you don't need to be involved on a physical level, although it may be nice. It really does depend on the situation, doesn't it? Right? But usually what is required, or what is, I shouldn't say required, but what is really, really needed is just your support in terms of your involvement and being there and being focused. So that's what I'm going to put down there. Now, guys, you may be out there, and please put your 2 cents within that. Do you feel that it is truly for your own growth that the divine feminine or a counterpart needs to be involved, right? Because technically, I'm going to put that down. Personally, I put that one down as a no, because again, it is more so being considered. You know, when you are open to sharing your project of creation, right? Sometimes what a lady will do is we will come in and we can take over the entire shit, right? We can take everything over. So sometimes our involvement is best left simply as guidance, right? And it's like, hey, you want to create something cool? Well, I'll give you my perspective, rather than being fully involved in it, because we tend to take over some things. Now, I know, ladies, you may be like, no, I don't do that. But I'm like, there's usually a part where we do that, where we really, really go in. And that actually doesn't help the divine masculine, our total involvement in that instance. Usually that can actually cause a lot of irritation and frustration, because we just simply go in there and take over, because we're like, well, this could be done, that can be done, blah, 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 blah. And we kind of bring everything there, when it's just like, that's actually robbing our divine masculine of growing, right? When we are totally involved. But to offer guidance and a perspective, or when we are asked to, of course, express, then that's wonderful. Definitely. But you guys tell me what you think. Jared, no, each person has their individual path and interest. Right? I feel that. So I'm actually going to remove involvement, right? Because that's a little bit of, yeah. I mentioned it. I don't think I gotta go through that again. Acceptance. We can support our divine masculine through acceptance. I actually fully agree with that, right? I fully agree. And just before I go on to that, Orthora, you say, I'd say no. In divine union, if you have a project together, you serve as a unit, then sure, both should be involved. My 2 cents. Yeah, no, I agree. It really does depend, but it's not a requirement or something that the divine masculine needs in order to grow, right? But it's always nice when yeah. All right, acceptance though. Now, acceptance, that is actually, I believe, something that is wonderful and definitely helps the divine masculine to grow, and how we can give our support. Now, here's the thing though, and this is for everybody. Acceptance does not always equal agreeance. I'm going to say that one more time. Acceptance does not always equal agreeance, right? What acceptance means is that you have looked over what it is that the situation is, whether that is emotionally, physically, or whatever, and you've accepted it for what it is. And now you can move on based on the acknowledgement and the awareness and the acceptance of whatever this is. It does not mean you have to agree. It just simply means that you are accepting. So how does that kind of look, right? I'm going to give you a common trait of toxicity. Now, let's say you have a divine masculine who may be an alcoholic, all right? Now, how we can support the divine masculine if he is an alcoholic is to, one, not pussyfoot around the issue and be like, oh, he drinks a lot, but you know, it could be better. Sometimes he drinks a little too much and can be a little aggressive, and other times it's just a light beer or whatever. Like, nah, that doesn't help the situation. Acceptance, just to be like, no, you do drink too much, right? It is not good for your health. It is causing a lot of aggravation, not only between our relationship, but within the world. By the way, I've never ever been with an alcoholic, so I'm just basically giving this as an example. So I wouldn't, I don't have that firsthand experience, by the way. But anyway, so now accepting the situation. So if he comes back at you and says, well, you know what? You can't say anything. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a drinking problem. I'm perfectly fine the way I am. Now, your acceptance of this isn't to say, like, I accept and I agree with you. No, the acceptance of it is to say, like, okay, I accept the situation for what it is. You are in denial, which is your right to be so. You know, that's fine. But now, as I have accepted the situation for what it is, I now can proceed to the best path or course of action from that point. And that could be to just simply look you in the face and be like, no. Right? So, but acceptance of the situation is going to be there. Now, also, looking at it from another perspective as well, let's say you have your divine masculine who is just like, I am on an emotional roller coaster, right? Sometimes I'm going to cry a lot, right? Sometimes I'm going to not feel like going out there and providing the world to you, my love, you know? And everybody is okay and has their right to do so. However, as the divine feminine, how we can offer our support with an acceptance, right, is to not judge or criticize the divine masculine for not holding up to the ideals of society in that moment, but to accept him for the person that he is. To accept his words, his feelings, as he feels in that moment, right? Again, it doesn't always mean agreement, but it just means to be like, I accept this, right? I accept how you are feeling. Now, if you require my guidance as to get out of it, or to change the flow of the course of action, I'm more than happy to do so. However, if you choose not to, I accept that as well. And I think it was just mentioned here, and unconditional but honest, exactly. And that is what our unconditional love or nurturing looks like, right? Is to accept the situation so we know where to go. And that really, really does help the divine masculine. Because at the end of the day, one of the key programmings of society is for the divine masculine to not accept themselves, right? Because when they do accept themselves, and if we can support them accepting themselves, then we see their power come out. But when the divine masculine doesn't accept himself, it means that he is not accepting his own power, which means he gives his power to whoever will show him some acceptance, which is another reason why usually they are manipulated through violence or through the illusion of strength, or toxic masculinity is something that we've heard a lot. And it's because it can give the feeling of, well, at least these guys accept me, right? It may be hard, but they accept me, right? And it's just like, nah, we just need to support them by showing them acceptance and not fighting against it so much. So I definitely have that. Tolerance. Tolerance. Is tolerance something that is required or something that helps the divine masculine grow? I'm going to say a blatant no on that one. Okay, so I'm going to take that one out. Why? Why am I removing tolerance from the divine masculine? And it's because when you are tolerating something that is a bad cycle or negative energy, that is not providing growth. That is simply stagnation. That is literally keeping an individual at the certain level that they are, and we don't do that as life, as life in general, as the energy for life of truth and development, right? Tolerance of something, because you got to think, tolerance is not a happy place. When you are tolerating something, it's because it's pissing you off, right? It's pissing you off, making you uncomfortable, making you sad or whatever, and you're simply sitting there waiting for it to end, right? That has never helped anybody. So tolerance, I'm definitely removing from there because our divine masculine doesn't need us to tolerate them. They need our help in accepting them. They need our nurturing. They need our encouragement, right? They need to go, right? So tolerating bad behavior or just negative energy never helped anybody. And that's just, personally, divine masculine, that's the same for the divine feminine, right? We also don't need your tolerance. If you simply tolerate being with us, or if you tolerate our bad cycles and our bad behavior, that doesn't equal to our growth either, right? You're not being nice and considerate and caring by tolerating us. You're simply allowing the cycle to live and go on, and everybody's unhappy, right? So tolerance definitely took that one out. Freedom. Freedom. Yes. I'm actually going to put that over here too. Freedom is definitely a fantastic way of supporting both the divine and feminine energies as well. But freedom is so important because that comes with Angie's point there of being unconditional. When an individual is free to do whatever they need to do in that moment, they naturally go to a point of love, right? Because love is development. It is only the suppression of toxic masculinities in society and so forth that actually keeps individuals down. However, when we are free, there is a release of this negative energy, right? Because we can then, we're free to go. Nothing's holding us back, right? So when we do not cage the divine masculine and say, you know what? You're free to do whatever the hell you want, right? I'm going to stand back here if you need my guidance at any point. I'm more than happy to give it to you, you know, with the divine feminine support, of course. This is how the partnership works. But at the end of the day, for us divine feminine to go to our divine masculine and say, in order for you to get my nurturing love, you need to do this. You need to provide for me. You need to go out, get a job, and get the house. You need to be an outstanding citizen, an outstanding father. You need to, you can't go play games on the PS4 or whatever. You need to do this. You blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on and on. That's not freedom, right? That's confinement. So, and the same thing, you know, the divine masculine, if you were to put that against the divine feminine and say, look, lady, because I am providing you with this, that, and that, and the other, I expect that you are going to be at home or giving me everything that you have to give. And again, it's only suppression between the both of us. So, we need freedom, right? Definitely. So, that is definitely a good support system. Freedom. Respect. Like I say, I'm going to take away respect, because respect is something that is, and you can tell me a little bit differently if you like here, but respect is something that should not be given in terms of a support system. Respect is something that you command within your own self and being, right? And when you command respect within your own self and being, it just means that people around you who would disrespect you will just simply not be within your presence, right? It is something that is naturally given, or something that is naturally earned, shall I say, based on your actions and your and what you put out there. Because, like I say, we could be in, as we have been, as the feminine energy and the masculine energy, we've been in some pretty damn toxic freaking cycles over the last millennia, right? And the thing is, if we continuously say, you need to show me respect, right? And it's kind of like, to demand that is the same reason, is why we don't demand loyalty, right? And we don't demand trust and so forth. We cannot ask this of somebody because it is demonstrated from within us first, right? And that is a reflection of ourselves. So that is why I take respect out there, right? Because again, I'm not going to ask any of you to give me respect, right? You know, we ain't baby up in here going, put some respect on my name, you know? Definitely not. I'm going to simply be me. I'm simply going to go out there, do what I want to do, how I want to do it. And if you choose to give me respect, then I will simply give you my focus, right? But if you choose to not give me respect, then I just won't pay attention to you, right? So, like I say, respect is more so something that is earned or demonstrated rather than something that can be demanded, right? However, I will say this. When the divine male, right, when you give him, of course, positive encouragement, when you are nurturing him from what he really truly needs in his heart, accepting what it is that is him for who he is in that moment and not giving him those pressures of those toxic cycles that are going on, and he's got freedom that's going there. And the divine masculine, you're giving the ladies all of this good stuff right here, shit, she's gonna respect the shit out of you, right? Because how could she not? I definitely know that a man who listens to me and gives me the support that I require over here, he's got my full focus, my attention, my support, everything from me, right? And definitely my respect, because it's not in me to want to cause him any harm, to want to cage him and take away his freedoms. I love him the way he is, so of course he's got my full acceptance of who he is, you know, and with that comes, again, my nurturing and my encouragement and my trust, right? So that's what I'm going to say on that one. Touch! Definitely. How can we, and you may be like, why does the divine masculine require touch? And one of the main reasons is because so many of them are so incredibly in tune with their sentience, which is the feeling of energy, right? This is one of the reasons why men, when they get aroused, you could blow on it and they'll be like, okay, I'm ready, right? And it's because touch is a really, really, really important part. It's very, very much so rooted in the earth, right? Which is within their energy. Just the same way that it is so important for the divine feminine to be heard, for us to speak, right? Which has nothing to do with touching us, right? But that is so important to us. When it comes to the divine masculine, they need that touch, right? They really need that touch. Now, here's the thing, though. To support a man properly, the divine masculine with touch, ladies, it's not kind of any kind of touch, right? It is the touch that comes from our truth and our hearts, right? It is the genuine touch that makes a huge difference. So, for example, when you truly want to be intimate, to cuddle, to hug, to show care, that radiates from your heart, ladies. And when you touch the divine masculine, he feels it so intensely. And as he feels that touch and whatever energy that you are holding within there. So for example, if the nurturing that is required for our divine masculine is he needs strength and focus and direction in that moment, have that radiate from your heart and give him a hug. He will feel that so strongly. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to help him to accept himself. That's going to help him to literally grow, trusting in himself, and also gives him that positive encouragement that's required, right? And when he does that, watch how he uses his energy. There are some of the most beautiful individuals that I've found, especially there are some men who have been looked at as hard, have been looked at as mean, as insincere. And I'm like, give them the right energy and and a little bit of comfort, a little touch in that sense. And you see just the world as to what they are able to create and offer, right? So not even when it comes to offering the support to the divine feminine in return, but I mean, watch what they create with that positive focus. It's freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing, you know? Whether it be creation of business or whether it be creation of sanctuary, whether it be getting shit done, it doesn't matter. The divine masculine, if you can touch them, not only their hearts, but touch them with your energy, it's like it's a contact high, I guess you can say. and it goes to nothing but growth, and it's such a beautiful thing, right? Master Lucas, you say there's babies dying from lack of touch. Touching a person's heart or skin, it is healing. Exactly. You can touch a person in so many ways. Even your actions can touch a person. Much love to you all, Master Lucas. Yes, you're absolutely right. But specifically for the Divine Masculine, physical touch is so important, right? So important. So touch for sure. To be seen. Yes, definitely. To be seen. Now, when we are supporting our Divine Masculine, ladies, we have to see them for who they are, right? Put your hand up. How many of you ladies, right? You will see a man based on what he is wearing, his physical physique. You will see him based on his mannerisms and characteristics. So, for example, I'll give you an example. You know, a lot of guys are hooked into bravado, right? You'll see a guy that's going out there and, yeah, you know, he's flashing the cash. He's got the chains on, you know. He may walk around and just be like, yo, I'm super tough, you know, all that kind of stuff. And just have that kind of air of masculinity about him. And that's what most ladies see. But I'm like, what you're seeing is the illusion of him. The illusion or the mask that he puts forward in order to find a way through his life. Just the same way as ladies, why you put your heels on, your makeup, do your hair, you know, and dress up in pretty things, right? Because that's what a lot of guys see is the illusion, right? But again, to support our Divine Masculine, we have the ability to see through the bravado, right? It's something we have done for so very many generations, right? So, to help support our Divine Masculine, use this wonderful ability that you have to see them for who they are behind all of that. And that's something that I do, right? And that I love doing. I do it with absolutely everybody, don't get me wrong. But when I see the Divine Masculine and I see him there with all of his peacocking, the first thing I do is I look under that and I'm like, let me feel your heart. And then I see them. And then I don't focus on the mask that's out there, right? I don't respond to those actions that he may be trying to get me to respond to. No, I respond to his heart. I see him for the potential, for the truth, for the wisdom that he holds, for the knowledge that he holds. You know? The way he cracks a smile when he sees a little baby run across the street, right? There's no bravado there. There's no nothing there but a guy that's just appreciating a little baby because they're cute. You know? So see that part, right? When you have a guy that is, or a man that is around and you see him work tirelessly, effortlessly, you see the veins that are coming out in his arms and his legs because he's been hauling shit all day, every day in order to provide a house and a car and beautiful clothes and excursions and everything like that for the kiddos and the family, right? In that moment, don't just see what he provides, see his strength in that moment. You need to see him, see his wariness in that moment, and then provide your nurturing to accommodate that, right? That's what I can say. Carolina, you say you're guilty of that? You see his swagger? Right. But it's kind of like the swag is beautiful. Just the same way a woman will have a beautiful face when she paints it. But what's even more beautiful is the heart that's underneath. And a lot of men are not seen. They are seen for their swagger. They are seen for what they can provide, but they are not seen. But they're not seen for their individuality. They're not seen for everything that they can provide beyond what they are trying to show, right? So, see them. Definitely a good one. and being a team player, right? Is that definitely something that is going to support the divine masculine? To be honest with you, I'll put that down as involvement. So I'm going to say no on there. Although it's nice to be, of course, a team player, but it really does depend on the situation. If that is going to be a toxic support, being a team player, like, you know that phrase like, oh yeah, I need a ride or die chick, right? I'm like, nah, what you need is a chick with some sense, who's connected here, that you can grow with, right? But being a team player when it comes to negative cycles, that doesn't help nobody, right? And on both sides too, the divine masculine, you don't just want to always just go with whatever your lady says, especially if you've recognized that it is a toxic trait that she has, or if you're feeding her insecurities. You don't want to be a team player for that, because that's not going to support her growth. And it's definitely not going to support your growth, and vice versa, right? So that's why I'm going to take away a team player on that one. Okay. So, hello, Ricochet, sweetheart. Master Lucas, I always look and feel into the heart. Yes, that is something we all need to do with each other, for sure. Ricochet, you say, Orton should be driving to my house, but he is watching here, so I joined while I wait. Oh, bless! Orton, please don't go! You guys have arrangements, like shit. Anywho, so let's just have a recap on this, because I know I've been sitting here for a while talking about this, but again, hoping that it has offered some of you at least something to consider when you are trying to support the new age of men and women that are out there. All right? Let's not support the egos. Let's support our energy and our growth all together. So, truly what a woman needs, listen to her words, listen to her heart. Freedom, again, letting her be free to take care of herself, but just with a little bit of support, and just do whatever the hell she wants. Reflection, being able to go back and just reflect on the day or the current or whatever it is that you need to reflect on. Being present and focused. Giving her your focus, the genuine focus. Honesty, definitely. And, of course, some nurturing there. And men, oh, by the way, men need truth. Truth, too. Right? That is definitely another thing that you can do to support the divine masculine, is do not cover your damn truth. They feel truth just as strongly, right? However, the divine masculine, because of the manipulation that has been going on for so many years, so that they no longer accept themselves, causes them to avoid the truth or continue on in a cycle or pattern that has not served them. So like I say, men plant a seed and they are creators, right? And then women will come in and nurture, right? And then as their creation is being nurtured, they support that life. However, if somebody has come in and created a negative cycle, then what tends to happen with a lot of guys is they nurture that negative cycle, or they support the negative cycle, because that's inherently what is within their energy. So it's kind of like we need to support our divine masculine by always staying in truth, so that they are giving their energy and support to a cycle that is growing them and not to their own deterioration, right? Really, really, really important on that one. Okay, so again, what does the divine masculine need? They need encouragement, positive reinforcement, right? You cannot expect a man to be a man and to provide you with all of this wonderful stuff if you sitting there beating the shit out of him verbally, right? Telling him he ain't shit, telling him he can't do this, that he can't do that. That is not going to provide a man, that is not going to provide the strength and the all in the being to come out, right? That's just gonna deteriorate shit. So, positive reinforcement. Trust is earned, but positive reinforcement, nurturing, however that may be in that time he needs it. Whether it be verbally, whether it be physically sometimes, but whatever it is, it could be a hug, nurture. Truth, like I say, he needs honesty, right? He needs direction and focus at times. Not saying like a man can't direct himself, but when it comes to supporting you at the time that you need it, you need some truth in where you're going with it. Acceptance of the situation. Dude needs to be accepted. Doesn't always mean agreement, it just means he needs acceptance, right? So in that moment, stop trying to contort or curve or tell him this or tell him that. Just accept him for who he is, right? Because he needs a solid foundation to know where he's going. And if he doesn't have acceptance, we don't know where we are going. We're just running around in a bloody circle. So accept the man for who he is, right? And if you cannot accept him for who he is, leave him alone because you ain't helping him out. Literally. I'll say that again. If you cannot accept the man for who he is, leave him alone, right? Because you are not helping him to grow. Accept him for who he is and decide what it is you want to do after that. Freedom. The man needs freedom. Divine masculine needs to be free to create and do what he needs to do in that moment. Because whatever he creates, if it is created out of love, he will literally support that shit. Right? And so if it is creation of children out of love, he will support those children. All right? And he will support you within it. If it is creation of a business, right, and he needs a little bit of your nurturing to get it off the ground, he will support the shit out of that business. You know? But he's got to have the freedom to explore himself, right? To explore what it is that he wants to do. Freedom. Touch, as mentioned, definitely needs some touch, right? He needs some touch. Program your energy. And like Master Lucas was saying, you know, touch is incredibly healing. And it's because it's like, you know how many of you ladies, you have crystals, you put a crystal in your bra, right? And you keep it to your skin, and hopefully you don't have any bras anymore, so you just put it in your pocket or somewhere on you. But either way, the same reason why you want to touch a crystal, because it helps your vibration. Like if you wanted to put rose quartz in your bra, it's going to help you feel more love and so forth because you're matching your vibration to it. This is the same thing, right? The divine masculine needs your touch. You're the massive crystal. So whatever it is programmed into, hold him, right? It's such a wonderful oasis. Carolina, exactly. If you cannot accept a man for who he is, leave him alone. Right, for sure. And by the way, that goes for women too. That's what I say about myself. I'm like, if you can't accept me for who I am, then leave me alone, because I ain't gonna change, you know? And I wouldn't expect somebody to have expectations of me changing to contort to whatever vision that they have of me. Same thing. And too many women try to change a man, right? They get with him to go, oh, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna fix him. You know, I'm gonna make him change. And it's like, he doesn't need you to fix him. He doesn't need you to make him change. He needs help to understand himself so he knows what he's doing. You know, he needs help within truth and acceptance and freedom, right? To be the best man he's possibly going to be. He doesn't need you to come and change him. He just needs to be himself and support within him being himself. And lastly, to be seen. Help our divine masculine by seeing them for who they are, right? Who they are behind all the masks, behind all the toxic masculinity. Just see them for who they are. And I tell you, ladies, there is some treasures. Just as the divine, you know how many, and I promise I'm going to stop with this, but you know how you have so many memes out there on Facebook and social media and just in general about how beautiful the divine goddess is, how all these goddesses are waking up and how gorgeous we are, how creative we are, how stunningly beautiful we are, you know, how strong we are within our strength to do whatever the shit we want and we're good like that. Oh man, the divine masculine is beautiful. You know, I tell you, when we can see our men the way we see the divine feminine and the goddesses that are out there, when we see all the gods and the kings going out there, I tell you, the drool just like, oh, you know, because they are exactly what we need. They are exactly what we've been searching for, right? Oh my goodness. When the ego is out of the way and when we can support them to be truly them, they are profound in their strength and they don't have to do anything. They are profound in their knowledge. They are profound in their care and their charisma and their consideration. And literally, our bodies respond to that. Because we can't help but want to take care of them. I shit you not. We look at them and just be like, I want to take care of you so bad. Because I want you to live forever, because I know I'm a goddess and I'm going to live forever, and now I want you to live forever too, because you're so fantastic and wonderful, and you're so gorgeous and so sexy, and I want to make so many babies with you, you know, and we just like I say, there's no need to wear underwear anymore. Anyway, so that's what we have. I'm going to take this away now. Alrighty. By the way, okay, so, and lastly, and I will get onto some readings because this is definitely an extended version for tonight, but let's also have a look at how we support each other through our abilities too. Orthoa, you say, yes, he is. I support them and get reprimanded for focusing on them. You know it won't stop me as long as the need is there. You know what, Orthoa? I feel you right there, right? So many individuals would say that, yes, why are you focusing so much on this dude here? He ain't going to do nothing. And I'm like, that's because I see him. I see what you don't see. And I'm like, I know that if I nurture this individual, if they can unlock inside me what it is that they need, oh, watch. You just wait and watch. It is so freaking beautiful. Hey, Zell. Hey, Corona. It's lovely to see you guys. Fantasticness. Okay. So lastly, I wanted to go is how do you support each other when it comes to what it is that you need in terms of your ability? Because every single individual will need a different level of support based on their natural ability. So a clairvoyant. Right? A clairvoyant needs trust and focus. Now, many are going to need a trust and focus, but in what they see. So, let's have a look here. So, let's say that your divine feminine or divine masculine have the strongest ability is clairvoyancy. Now, what's going to happen is a lot of women, when they are clairvoyant, we will speak about the visions that we see, right? So how do we actually gain support when it comes to our clairvoyancy? Well, when we talk about a vision that we've had, pay attention to it. That's what we need, because we're going to need to speak it, and so we want that focus to trust that the visions that we're seeing, these are messages that are given to us. So don't just avoid them or just be like, oh, you're crazy, that's not going to happen, right? Or whatever, because like that's when shit happens. So if you are the divine masculine and you have a clairvoyant divine feminine that is within your presence, you know, definitely take heed of the visions that she's seeing, because there is a message in them. Now, if you are a divine feminine and you are with a clairvoyant man who is also seeing visions, what he's going to want to do is he takes more action based on these visions. So if he has had a dream, because normally what happens with a clairvoyant male is that he will see it, but also he will feel it very strongly. Do not disregard what he feels and what he sees, right? He could have jumped into another freaking dimension and timeline, seen absolutely everything, and because you're not quite focused on him in that moment, or you're not focused on it, you could easily be like, oh, well, that's not going to happen because that's not in the plan or the schedule. Nah. Again, give him your trust and your focus on what it is that he has seen and he has felt, right? Because he's going to wake up to it, all right? Definitely. So, a seer. of truth. Oh, I'll put it up here. If you are with a truth seer, now what is a seer? A seer is an individual that sees the truth in everything, right? How you support a seer? You be honest. That is not an N, or there we go. Right? Doesn't matter what scenario it is, does not matter what the outcome you may believe is going to happen. If you have a truth seer on your hands, you be so blatantly truthful and upfront, right? Anything you hold back is going to cause aggravation. So if you are the divine feminine, so divine masculine, if you have a lady who is a truth seer, how you support her best is not only all of the bits that we mentioned before, but again, honesty is going to be a dead key thing, right? Do not hold your emotions back. If you are feeling sad, say, I'm feeling sad. Don't try to be like, I'm all right. It's like, no, no, no. You just be like, I'm sad, because then she'll be like, okay, right? Encourage her to be truthful as well. So if she's feeling sad and you feel that, and you're like, hey babe, how you doing? And she's like, I'm okay. You gotta be like, no, you're not. I can feel you, girl. Don't even try to lie to me right now. I know you're not okay. So stop hiding this shit and be so upfront and honest with her. Get her out of her own cycles as she will try to get you out of yours, right? And for the ladies, again, if you have a seer on your hands that is a guy, please, again, be so honest with him. Because what tends to happen is that us ladies, we like to feed insecurities. And one of the insecurities that we feel is we tend to lie to a lot of guys to make them feel better, right? We'll say that, oh, you know, he may be like, oh, are you satisfied with my lovemaking? And you'll probably be like, it was all right, but you'll be like, oh yes, I was fantastic. You lie into the man. Tell him the truth. And just be like, no, I didn't really feel too much of a connection there. He will appreciate that, because then he could be like, oh shit, okay. Because I felt that. You know he'll feel it, right? Be truthful, right? We need this. We really, really need this as seers. Okay. Carolina, we tend to dream lottery numbers, the clairvoyance, right? I love it. Or throw it. Yes, you can't hide. Can't not say. We already know there are no secrets. Exactly. So support a seer by being bloody honest. Sentient. All right. I don't know if I spelled that. I didn't spell that right, but no, I'm missing an N. No, sentient. If you are a sentient individual, right? The best thing that you can do to support a sentient individual is flow and let go. Right? If you are, so for example, if you have as divine feminine, if you know that your counterpart, your other half, or the male in your life is orstinate, so flows timelines, let shit go. Support him by helping him to let shit go. All right? If you are sentience, it's all about flowing with the energy. And if you hang on to things, it holds you down, which means you can't flow. And that disruption causes confusion, it causes anxiety, worry, it causes lots of fear and a lot of it's like a traffic jam, right? Also, it causes a lot of physical aches and pains in the body. You know, the beautiful Ross, I know, whatever, he's a new member of the group, of Frequency 51, but he's wonderful when it comes to the body, right? And understanding fascia and muscle tissues and all those bits and pieces. So I'm telling you, man, but he's also worse than it. And it is so important to let go of certain aspects, of mental aspects, in order to continuously flow. So, if your man is sentient, clairsentient, let shit go. Don't hold on to anything with him. And if there is something that is difficult to let go, as the divine feminine, use your intuition to help guide and navigate and help him let it go, right? That's a form of the nurturing we were talking about, right? Now, subsequently, if you are the divine feminine and you are sentient, the divine masculine, same thing. Help her to let shit go. Help her to find her flow and enjoyment and have fun. Most of the time, when women don't let shit go, that energy pulls with us in our head. We start to just, guys, when the energy pulls, they're like, oh, I just want to do something, and they want to go box, or the aggression may build, or they just feel like they need to go do something or go on a walk or whatever, right? With us ladies, if we're sentient, all we tend to do is we tend to sit still, and then our mind just goes everywhere, and we don't let shit go, and then we don't have any fun. And when we don't have any fun, we get miserable, and then we get into a pattern of just doing shit for the sake of it rather than doing it for an actual benefit, right? We start nurturing the wrong things. So, divine masculine, to help your sentient lady start flowing again with all the good information and stuff, help her to let go and help her to have fun, right? The same way you do it with kids. When you have babies, and how women are just like, oh my gosh, don't let little Timmy fall, and guys are just like, hey Timmy, whoosh, throw you on the bed, right? That's the fun part of the divine masculine, because there's a carefree flow that goes with you, right? There's less fear that's there when you're flowing. So help your ladies to flow by having fun, right? That's always there. Alrighty, so what's another one? So we've got buoyancy, searing, sentience, cognizance. Nope, that's the wrong way. Right, last one for now. If you have a man or a woman who is cognizant, which is clear inner knowing, the best way you can support them is to support their knowing, to help them trust in themselves. So, let's have a look here. Support. And trust. All right. This is a big one. All right. This is a big one. If you are cognizant, again, clear inner knowing means that whether you are the divine feminine or the divine masculine, it normally means that whatever you kind of logically know is pretty truthful, right? Right? You can get things done. All the information is there. All of this good stuff is there. But the main problem that we have as cognizant individuals is to trust in the information that we're getting through, right? So, how do I support as the divine feminine? How do I support the divine masculine with his clear inner knowing? Basically, I encourage him to know himself. I encourage him to trust in the information that's coming through and not seek validation outside of himself, right? Because as I trust in him, my energy radiates that, which then leads into positive encouragement, right? Which leads into acceptance, which leads into freedom, all of the things that he requires, right? Oh, Orthoa, let them talk. Exactly. Let them express, right? Because they've got to get it out too. Absolutely. They've got to get it out too. And then support them and just be like, you know what? You got this through for a reason, right? And trust it. Trust as that comes through. And guys, how you can support the divine feminine with your divine masculine energy when you have a lady who is cognizant, same thing. If she comes out and she's just like, this is what feels best, and she's kind of like, but I don't know, just be like, nah, babes, you have this reason, you have this for a reason. Trust it. And sometimes with a lot of it, guys, I know whatever that comes through with us in terms of our cognizance, because our brain is just like, you may not even understand what the shit we're talking about. But it doesn't matter, right? Because it's for us to figure out. But when we trust ourselves, we figure it out. So your support, and just to say like, you know what, babes, talk it all out. I just know that whatever it is that comes through, I know you need to trust it and roll with it, right? That will help her to grow, right? That will help each other to grow, right? Let's have a look here at some of these comments. Hazel, how are you, love? I hope all is well. Oh, no, I'm doing well. I'm transitioning like nobody's business. You know, up in here, hence the reason why my hair has changed a little bit, because I could during this transition, but I'm growing and I'm developing and I'm doing really, really good. Thank you so much, sweetheart, and I hope the same for you. Master Lucaus, I have no reason to lie to anyone, and I will not expect any lies from anyone else. That is the way I roll. There's no law that can be justified. Precisely. However, the problem is that we often lie to ourselves. And that's the biggest issue, right? Is us lying to ourselves when it comes to being a seer. And this is why we need that honesty. Because when somebody else comes in and they're speaking their truth, it could be breaking down the lie we've been telling ourselves that has been holding us back, right? So this is one of the reasons why we definitely need that truth. All right. So let's have a look here. Trisha, hi, Master Kulipup. Hello, sweetheart. I have something so exciting to tell you. Sending a message. Oh, yay. Okay, good stuff. I'm always like, yeah, tell me something good. Love it. Absolutely love it. Can you send this to my family, you say, Trisha? Well, you're more than welcome to share it. I hope you do. And so, Master Lucaus, trust what they say. And this is the thing, though, Master Lucaus. When we as seers lie to ourselves, that's the one that we live in normally. So it's part of our comfort zone. But when we hear it from somebody else, when we hear the truth from somebody else, the thing is, it will vibrate as truth within us. And we may not want to accept it. We'd be like, no, no. But deep down, we know it's the truth, though, because our energy is like, yeah, it's the truth. So that's why we need that support, right? That's why we need that support. And Trisha, total truth. That is the hardest part, lying to ourselves, right? Some crazy ass ish. Alrighty. That concludes my lecture, which has lasted 2 hours, on support. I hope that really helped. If you've got any questions, ask them now. Because we are going to go on to readings. La, 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 la. I tell you, one of the things that I've needed so much more right now, in terms of my own support, has simply been more physical support. It's one of those things that has been more of like a little bit of an epiphany lately. And you may be thinking like, seriously, is this an epiphany? And I'm like, yeah, it is. By the way, I'm just setting up to do some readings over here. And one of the things, I actually broke down and I was in tears because I wanted to know why was it that I'm having such difficulty making connections? And you'd think like, and it's difficult because I love everybody. I really, really do. But I was finding that I'm drained. I feel absolutely drained. And I was feeling drained because I was giving out so very much. All the time. Just constantly giving. And I was just like, okay, well, I do need some support, but it's fine. And I know I needed support because my lower back was just on fire constantly. Regardless of how much yoga I did, how much sentience flow I did, doesn't matter. I was so freaking tired and my back was aching. So I'm like, I know I need support, right? And my problem is that I had never been used to taking support from people, right? And one of the reasons I never did that is because I grew up, or the people in my life that were who said that they loved me, right, were often the ones that were abusing me most. And so it's kind of like I had this internal feeling of I've never actually been supported physically, right? And what that did was it made me just oh, if somebody got to a certain level of closeness, I wouldn't want, they would want to take care of me, and I wouldn't let them do it. Because again, I was programmed to be like, well, no, if they cross that line, then now you're really vulnerable and open. And if you're really vulnerable and open, and they want to show you care and support, usually that would mean that it's not really true, and that they're just going to use you for something and then leave and abandon you, or abandon me. That's what the inner work that I was working on. And so I had to get out of my comfort zone and just be like, you know what? You gotta let an individual support you. You gotta let people support you. And so I'm working on that. And that way I don't have to be so tired all the time. Oh, that's the goal. It's crazeballs though. You know, when you've been hurt so very many times, to let somebody in. Alright? Just to simply let them in. And because technically, I will say this, you know, every single individual, support is wonderful, but every single thing that you have in order to grow is within you. And I always took that to, heart, right? Took that to heart, and we're being like, well, no, if I need love, I can just give it to myself, which I do. But it is nice to be open enough to let somebody take care of you, enough to truly appreciate the love that they are giving you, right? And truly accept the gift of support that they are giving you. And thus you see how much you grow and how much faster as well. So there we are. But anyway, so that was that from me. I have got my bits and pieces. There we go. So let's get on to some readings, you guys. I'm gonna read some of these comments here, but also just whatever you would like to ask, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to be using my pendulum wheels just to do a quick scan of your energy. So if you do have a specific question, please do ask that. I will be using my pendulum, but also I will be doing some writing as well, and we'll see what's going on with that one. The wheels that we're using here are going to be just the standard ones for energy, emotional state of awareness, and basically whatever it is according to your question. Now, if you do not have a question for me, then I will simply just be using my standard where your energy is pendulum wheel, which, by the way, I'm getting closer to making a whole book, and thus you guys will be able to download it or just at least use it for later, which will be nice. And I'm going to put this up here like this, and put this over down there like that, so hopefully that is, there we go, that's a little bit better. Alrighty. So anyway, any questions that you have, let's get on cracking on those now. Let's have a look at some of these comments that we've got here. Okay. All right. Renee, there was a spirit next to you when I first started this. Oh, sweetheart. I will honestly say, once I actually come in contact with a spirit, you guys never leave me. You're always here. And so do not be surprised if you see quite a few that are around. It just depends on how open you are to seeing them. But yeah, no, there's constantly quite a few that are around. So I kind of like everybody's in line, just waiting. Jared, okay, so let's have a look here. You have, what does my spirit want me doing? I have an idea, I just still feel lost and drained. Alrighty, so let's have a look, and I need to plug in my phone, sorry, 1 second. The charger is way the hell over there, and I'm going to put it over here. Okay. Let's get to your question first here, Jared. And I'm just going to plug you in first, or plug my phone in first, because I've been talking for 2 hours, and I'm so pleased my battery actually stayed for that amount of time. Oops. Sorry, you guys, 1 second. Not quite as organized as I thought there. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So, Jared, what does your spirit want you to know at this present moment? Let's have a look. So what's wonderful is that as soon as you ask the question, I actually already start getting the feed as to what it is that's going on. So for Jared, okay, so Jared, for yourself, my dearest, you, like mentioned, you have asked, what does my spirit want me doing? I have an idea, I just still feel lost and drained. So this is what it is, Jared. I want to understand what it is I'm supposed to be doing, but I need to know why I want to do what it is I want to do. Then I will know where to go and stop feeling drained and misunderstood. Okay? So, what does that actually mean there, Jared? It means that you know all of the stuff that you actually want to do. You know about where that your heart wants freedom. You know that you want to say fuck it to society and fuck it to this life that you've been living and move forward. All right? So, here's what you need to do. You need to take a moment to sit down and understand everything, the reason why you do what you do in every single moment that you do it. Okay? And this is how you're going to find this focus. And again, this is not just for yourself here, Jared. Anybody else that is watching this, you can take an understanding of what it is that you require. If you simply know what it is, if you know why you are doing what it is that you're doing. So, take a moment, Jared, and I want you to sit down and just make a list of all of the things that you do every single day. Okay? And it could just be in the moment, or you could even have a look just at yesterday. And just kind of write out what you did during that day. And then on each bullet point, ask yourself, why did I do this? All right? And just make a list, Why did I eat breakfast at this time? Why did I go into work? Why did I communicate with this person? How did it make me feel? Why did I continue doing it after that? I want freedom. Why? Right? Why do I like going outside and being in the woods? Why do I like to smoke a spliff every now and then? Why? You need to understand what it is you're doing and why you're doing it in order to understand the direction that you are going in. All right? So that is what I would say is what you need to do at this very moment. Or that's what, that is what is going to happen. Anyway, once you understand this, you'll also, you'll stop feeling drained, because once you are in awareness of the patterns and cycles that you're in and why you're in them, then you have more strength to stop them. So if as you're doing this, it's just like, I'm doing this, but this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, then simply stop doing it. And you'll find that you're not going to feel drained anymore, because you are managing your energy properly through your awareness, right? And not only that, you will not be misunderstood by so many of the individuals around you. Because you'll be like, I'm doing this today. And they'll be like, well, why are you doing that? I don't understand. And you'll be able to tell them, I do it because of this, this, that, and that. Right? Or you don't even have to explain it to them if you don't want to. But at the end of the day, you'll be clearly understood, know where you are going and what you want to do, and then you can build from there. And then you'll find that your path is going to be very, very good. I have massive pit stains. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. So let's have a look here. Who else that we got there? Joyce, you say, can you please scan my daughter Jess, please? She hasn't been well and thinks she might have leukemia. Okay, let's have a look here. Now, the only thing is, I'm going to have a look and I'm going to see where she is. However, I am not going to actually tell you what is either, if there is something wrong, I'm not going to tell you what that is, because I would like Jess to come on and ask me this question herself. Otherwise, I do not want to reveal her personal information all out on Facebook like that without anybody, without her consent. So as you are her mom, I'm going to let you know if she's doing okay and that there's nothing to worry about or what you can do. However, I just won't give you the details. So let's have a look at what's going on with Jess. All right. Where's her body at right now? All right. What else we got here? Okay. So what okay, thank you so much, Joyce, sweetheart. But still, that being said, personal health is definitely something that I would like her to ask me directly as well, because what tends to happen is if a question is asked about somebody's health through a third party, which would be yourself at the moment, it is not understood as well as if she were to ask me herself. So again, I'm going to give you some information. However, if she wants to know a little bit more, I would ask that she come to me directly as well, so that my direct focus can also assist further in her healing and her development. Right? So when it comes to Jess, is there some issues there? Yes, there are. Thank you so much, Joyce. I appreciate that. Are there some issues going on with her vessel? Yes, there definitely is. I will say that it is due to the environment and also the lack of expulsion that her body needs. Her body is trying to process this through, but she is not eliminating her waste fast enough. And that is through every avenue possible, not just through urination and defecation, but also through the nose, through the throat, through the ears, through the eyes, through the pores. Her body is desperately trying to get rid of this toxicity, and she needs to help and facilitate that. But her environment is one of the major causes of what is going on. So, is there something to be addressed? Yes, there is something to be addressed. I will wait for her message. If I do get her message through, I will totally discuss it more with her at that point, and actions that we can take to get her back on a healing path, or at least give her some information to see what it is that she may want to do. But I will say yes on that there is some bits and pieces that we do need to address there. So I hope that helps, sweetheart. Okay, so in the moment though, I will say this. When it comes to her, if she wants to, and the thing is, a lot of the things that she needs to do are standard things of just general care, such as, eating properly, getting a lot of water, rest in. But at this moment, I will tell you this, if she can just start to truly take her health as one of her top priorities within her day-to-day activities. So again, she's like, man, I'm going to hydrate, I'm going to rest, I'm going to really focus on me and take care of me in this moment. If she can do that, my full force of my energy is behind her, and I will help her accelerate her healing. But she's just got to make sure she puts herself as priority first. Alrighty. So let's have a look. She's a single mom of two. I feel it. Many of us are single parents. Does not excuse the fact that she still needs to put herself first in this moment. All right? Because, if she doesn't, then the last thing we want is to have 2 orphan children, right? So she needs to care for herself if she wants to care for her children adequately, right? That's with everybody. We all need to do that right now more than ever. Okay, let's have a look here. Who do we got next? Alrighty. Trisha, you say, thank you for being with me at night. Of course, my sweetheart. I've been feeling drained too, but today is different. It's hard to accept help when you have never been supported. Yep. Except you will know who. Much respect. Oh, bless you. Yeah. Oh, do I ever feel you, sweetheart? Do I ever feel you? I will always be there to help support you in any way, shape, or form that I can, that is for your benefit and your well-being. But I do know what you mean, right? And even now, when I think of accepting support from individuals. Now, you guys send me gifts and donations, which is a beautiful form of support, and one that I truly do appreciate so very much. But it's one of those things where I definitely know that when it comes close to the fact of, really for me to open up to really accept support, I start like, okay, all right. Like, and sometimes that's just like, Kulipup, I just want to make you a meal. And I'm like, whoa, okay. You know, and I got to work myself up in order to, like, you know, get past this comfort zone of being only self-sufficient, right? So I feel you, sweetheart. Virgin, you say, I've been in a lot of pain also. Right, let's have a look here. Virgin, you need rest. You need rest and inner work, right? Do take this physical action, all right? Now, I know we've always talked about the inner work that you need to do, right? And that's going to be a continual thing that you need to do to stop avoiding yourself and stop neglecting yourself, right? Rest. Your body is tired, right? Rest is the first thing that you need. Do some inner work, but please ensure that you are taking this action, right? If you choose not to, if you choose to avoid and ignore, this pattern, this cycle will still continue. The pain is not going to go away, all right? Let your body heal itself. It's like that post that I shared. Who did I share it from? I can't remember. Let me see if I can find it really quickly, because it is so important. But basically, it was shared, and I saw it, and I shared it because it was very, 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 very... I'm doing my best to try to find it here. But either way, it was, of course, you need to take time for your wellness. Otherwise, you will be forced to take time. Oh, there you go. Yes, so if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness, right? And that's, I found when I saw that, I'm like, I have to share this, because at the end of the day, it is so profoundly true, right? So Virgin, with yourself, if you do not take the time to rest truly, right, then you are going to be forced to feel the pain, to feel the suffrage that is going on. So we got to get over that, sweet pea. Jared, you say, yes, I don't feel supported like this also. I don't want to trust anyone to open up and be vulnerable. It sucks having a trust no one mentally. Yeah. But the thing is, you know what's wonderful? Is that, well, this is what I'm finding, right? Because of all the amounts of inner work that we do within our awakening and our own healing, you know, as we are going through this, Jared, what I've found is that I needed to trust my own energy, that I'm attracting in only wonderful individuals with good intentions. Because at the end of the day, I am no longer the person that attracted in individuals who would abuse me, right? I am no longer the person that hid myself from the world because of insecurities and not accepting myself. I am definitely no longer the person who would look in the mirror and berate myself, you know. I am not the individual who is going to neglect myself anymore, right? And because I am no longer that person died a long time ago, right? That was the ego, that died a long time ago. And because I'm no longer that person, I have to accept and acknowledge that I'm Kulipup, you know? And Kulipup only has beautiful people like yourselves around me, right? And I don't really believe, well, no, not that I believe, I know that there is none of you that actually has my ill intentions in mind, right? Because I feel your hearts, right? So, with that, if you wanted to help support me, right, why would I reject that? There is nothing about your energy that says that you would want to abuse me or to take advantage of me, right? All you want to do is show your support, show your respect, show how wonderful you are because you are just simply responding to me. And that is what I have to acknowledge. I have to acknowledge that, and thus I need to be vulnerable and open myself up. Because if I don't, then I'm not truly growing to the extent that I could. right? And then I'm not truly giving to the extent that I can, right? So when we say it sucks to be vulnerable, but think of it this way, let's shift the perspective. You are a strong individual by yourself here, Jared. Nobody can manipulate you. Nobody's going to trot down on you. You know, you have a beautiful heart of the divine masculine. So, when you are ready to open yourself up, trust yourself. And trust that who you choose to open up to is not going to hurt you. And that they are simply going to show you the love that you show yourself. Right? And then you can accept it freely. And like I say, I'm doing this myself, so we're doing this together. I don't stay in comfort zones for long, so once I've figured it out, I'm like, fuck that, we got to get out of it. So I know that growth is coming as well in that sense. So I hope that helps. I really, really do. Alrighty, let's have a look here. Who else we got? So let's have a look. Oh, I love you, Harold and Sweet Pea. I do. Vladimir, not been in pain, but more got lazy days, and I think I deserve them. You totally do. Remember, doing nothing is still doing something. Resting is allowing your body to process things internally. So have those lazy days. We need them. I took the last couple of days simply to do nothing and just be with myself. What did I do? I went for walks. I put my headphones on and I dance walked all the way through. Did I get a lot of stairs? Yeah, I did, but I don't give a shit because it was fun. And you just need those days, man. So have them and enjoy them. Or Dawn, you say, thank you for the lesson today. Helped change my perspective on divine relationships. Ah, that's beautiful. I hope so. I hope it helped a lot of people to understand a little bit more about each other, right? Because when we give the proper support, we grow so quickly. And we see all the wonderful and amazing things that come out. Okay, Master Luke Elst. Is there a message I need to hear? Please and thank you. Yes. Let's have a look here. Right. Okay. So this is what we have for yourself here, Master Luke Elst. And this one is a harder truth. This one is a harder one. I want to tell you to be free and go and let the love come through. You need more essence of purity and to let go of the fear-mongering and the forced pleasure. You don't need to be one with all or the universe to see that you're broken inside and have used your love for fear, and this is the issue. Let go and see the truth, and see the truth in your own heart, and then nurture it, love it, and grow with it. If you refuse to action this, then the light will go. So, Master Luke Elst, this is what this means, or this is how I can interpret this for you. There has been the fear-mongering, right? And I know a lot of people are just like, oh, you see fear-mongers here and there who are always just miserable and right? That's clearly not what you do. But what fear-mongering is holding on to a fear that you know is not relevant, right? And that's what you've been doing for so very long. The essence of avoidance is very, very strong. Now, what that comes from, though, is your emotional abuse and trauma that you've went through, right? When I was giving the lesson about PTSD, right, I was kind of explaining the way dread works, where whenever it is embodied within you, in order to cope with what's happening, it looks everywhere else. It avoids absolutely everything, right? It'll have you talk all about nothing, but just to make you feel like you're progressing in some way, but really it's just avoidance, right? And that's what's kind of going on here, there a little bit there, Master Lukelst. You had went through a lot of suffrage, and forced pleasure is what to let go of the forced pleasure. So one of the things that has happened over the last little while is you have a tendency to be distracted by a pleasant lie, right? So, or if there is something that should be fun and should be enjoyable, you tend to focus so hard on that, like tunnel vision it, right? Which then leads you to avoid everything else that is on the outside of you, that is not within that tunneled vision, right? But here's the thing, all of that is what's stopping you from really connecting and feeling the love again, right? Because I know there's been feeling of disconnection for a little while. And that disconnection is literally because of the past traumas that are not going away, that are being brought to the surface that you thought you dealt with a long time ago, but they're still there. They are still there. And now is the time to let it go, because it's bleeding into everything else. That tunnel vision that's going is now, because of it, it's now focusing. That fear mongering is making you focus your vision on so many different aspects that are not helping you at this moment, right? And this is where we're feeling that disconnect, right? You have an incredible amount of energy. So if you ever have tunnel vision, it means that there is this hyperbolic just pummel of energy, like pressure wash, like, you know, where some people, when they have tunnel vision, it comes out like a garden hose, where it's just like the water's just trickling out, you know the kind of pressure that you can take a sip from. Well, no, your energy is not like a garden hose where you're just like, okay, well, I can just focus this anywhere and the damage isn't going to be really bad. But no, man, your tunnel vision is like a bloody pressure washer that's pumping out so much energy and focusing on one point so hard that it's causing you to lose focus on and to close off your awareness, right? So that's what we have there. You need to see the truth in your own heart and then nurture it, right? See the truth in your own heart, nurture it. You have some PTSD, all right? And it causes you to avoid things. You got to stop avoiding it now, right? You got to take down those walls. You got to be brave enough to go take that first step out there and just be like, no, I am Master Lukelst. I am strong as shit. There is no need for me to put up walls of defense because I literally smash those bitches down, right? You don't need a wall when you're the wall breaker. Does that make sense? I hope so. I really do hope so. When you can embrace that, let the fear go, see yourself for who you truly are, nurture the love inside you, and really let go of all the fear, right? That's when you're going to see your light grow. But otherwise, like you said here, a pressure washer of energy going out of you, it can only last for so long. So if you refuse to action this, then the light will go, because you won't have many more left. All right. I do hope that helps. I know it feels really hard. It's almost like the empty pit that comes through. But it's one of those truths that needs to be addressed. Definitely needs to be addressed. But I know you're strong enough to do it. Okay. So I hope that helps, sweetheart. Alrighty. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. What is the next question that we have? Alright. Okay, Clariston, any change in my energy since our meeting? What lessons I need to work more on, Master Kulipup? Let's have a look there, sweetheart. So, where is my bits and pieces? Where is Clariston's energy at this very moment? Let's have a look. Ah! There has been a change in your energy. However, it has been positive. So since our last meeting, you had a lot of self-blocking, avoidance, lots of desire, overcompensation, trying too hard, not expressing yourself, and so on. Right now, Clariston, what I'm finding is you still have some pent-up desires and lust that is in there, but it is definitely not as great as it was before. So it's kind of like you're getting there. It's still there, but it's not as strong as it was before. Now, there is a little bit of avoidance that is a part of this. However, there's more, it's just more scared, right? And I think that's more so of being scared of just expressing yourself and releasing more of this lust. But it's not really as strong as it was before. So in all, and again, it's because of a bit of insecurity that's still there. But in all, sweetness, what I can say is that you are progressing, all right? Which is something that I am so grateful for, because it means that you are using the energy for positivity and not just letting it go to the wayside. But you're doing well. So improvements are there. All I'd say is keep going. Do look to tackle some of the insecurities that still stop you or still have you, that silly fear that makes it so that you are still holding back some of your desires. And just go out there and fulfill whatever it is that you can. And slowly that is going to continuously get better and better and better. So I think you're doing great, sweetheart. All right. Master Luke Kelsey, say thank you. I will take some time to find out what I am avoiding. I will work hard on understanding all you said so I can connect to who and where I need to be. Much love, my friend. Master Luke Kelsey. Oh, sweet pea. I would definitely say if you need to start, anywhere that you can start right now is going to be why you take more than you are able to. Right? You are so full of the giving energy and of taking care of people, right? And so one of the main issues with yourself is that you constantly take or you give way more than what you have in that moment. And that is similar to the feelings of continuously being abused, because that's what people would do. They would see you and take what they wanted from you, whether you had it to give or not, right? So start there. Start there as to in the moment when you are with somebody, whether that be with a friendship, whether that be with a romantic relationship or a romantic prospect, your children, family, doesn't matter. Have a look at why you allow yourself to either give more than you have or for somebody to take more than you have to give, right? Or for them to give you something that you're just like, what if, like, for example, if somebody was giving you negative energy, why are you taking, like, even as healers, right? There's only so much patience that we have. So why are you taking more than what you are willing to give? And why are you not going, you know what? No, right? Because I know you're a strong lady, and I know when you reach your limit, you reach your limit. But in this aspect, you are still taking more than what it is that you have to give. So definitely have a look there first and see where it goes. Okay, hope that helps, sweetheart. Alrighty, and that was for Clariston. So well done, sweetie. Alrighty, so let's go on and have a look here. Okay, so we have the beautiful Trisha. I received a letter today from a cousin I never met. She said she was awake last night, and I came and I showed her stones and talked. She said she felt peace. She's a nurse. She was happy. Is this what I don't dream unless it's significant? Oh, is this why I don't dream unless it's significant? Ah, right. So here's the thing about that. If it is significant to you, you are more likely to remember that dream. So I can't actually say that you don't dream unless it's significant, or what I'm trying to get at is your body, when you are fully rested, Trisha, when you are not in fear or not stressing out or have any sort of anxiety or worry. Because like we know, you are Orstanen and you're also a seer of truth, right? So the best way for us Orstanen individuals to really feel and know and get into our seeing and everything is when we are calm, when we are still, when we are coaching and vibing and just flowing through life in a beautiful way, right? Now, when you are calm and when you are just in a place of peace and serenity yourself, what you will find is that you will remember a shitload more of your dreams. Your body will have enough energy to literally for you to recall all of the experiences that you are having, like the one you had with your cousin, right? That you never met, but still, like the one you had with your cousin. And it will be on a regular basis. And it doesn't have to be a significant moment. But because this is a significant moment, like I definitely know that my buoyancy when I was raising, it wasn't as strong, and that's because it takes a lot of energy to recall the visual information. Plus, because then you got to go into feeling, the sentience, and so forth. It all comes together. Everything is linked with each other. It takes a lot of energy. So if it's significant, your spirit's gonna be like, all right, open up the floodgates for this moment. Get the information through, because we know that it is going to be a risk to take this energy, because it's going to pay off, because it's going to be something significant, something you're going to remember, and hopefully something you're going to build off of. But your body doesn't have that kind of energy to do that on a constant basis. So this is where we need to grow and develop, and you need to find your calm, your cool, your chill, so you can be in total awareness all the time. And then as you're in total awareness all the time, everything works. And then you remember all your dreams, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So, but what a beautiful experience to have with your cousin. Oh, I love it. I hope that helps, sweetheart. Oh, and by the way, you love my hair. Thank you so much. I love it too. Well, for the next, I don't know how long. I'll probably take it out soon, but either way, that's fine. Heraldin, sweetheart, you say, what is being said to me through all of these messages and visions on others' loops I'm receiving? Okay, so let's have a look here, Heraldin. What is being said to you in this moment? Alrighty. So, this is what I have for you, Heraldin, sweetheart. I'm being guided to my source through visions, feelings, and focus. I've been on my path for some time now, but unable to use my ability due to narcissistic tendencies and the will of man rather than of heart and truth. So I'm being guided back to my all through the cycles of others, since I'm finding it hard to develop my skill independently. Alrighty. So, what does that mean for yourself there, Heraldin, and what I've just mentioned there? Or what you've just mentioned to me, to you, or through me to you. So basically, narcissistic tendencies and the will of man, meaning your ego is coming back in a little bit there. It is Renee that wants to come in and kind of morph and shift and start guiding in the direction and the focus of your energy. So, and because of this, Heraldin's just like, shit, F this shit. If I'm finding it difficult to get through to myself right now because of this flippin' ego, then I'm going to do it through everybody else. Because if that's where your focus is out there right now, Heraldens is like, all right, fine. We're going to have you focus out there so that you can pick up the patterns and focus back on here. So it is basically you redirecting yourself back to yourself through outside sources. And then once you got that recalibration, then it's like, okay, now we're here once again. We know where to go, and we're going to go into the place where we need to be. So if you would like to further on or encourage this, do a bit more meditation and do a bit more connecting back with Heralden. All right? And so what do you need to do in this moment? Like literally sit and have friendly conversations with Heralden. Speak to him as if he is your best friend, your confidant, whatever is on your mind. If you need guidance and counsel, just sit down and just be like, Heralden, this is what's going on. I know you know what's going on, but tell me, how you doing today? How are we feeling? Just reconnect with yourself, sweetheart. And then all of everything else, the messages that are coming back to you are going to make a lot of sense, because you're going to be like, that's why. Gotcha, my bad. So that is exactly what I have for you. Yes, it's been a battle, and man, it has been a mirror indefinitely, right? That's literally what it is. So I was just like, look, if you're looking outside, fine. Yeah, holding up that mirror, right? So look inside yourself, sweetheart. Rediscover that awesome, sexy spirit that you have, because it's beautiful. Hey, Ivory, sweetheart. Okay, let's have a look here. Who else do we got? Okay, Brandy, sweetheart, you say, my daughter and I have serious issues for years. I don't know what it is. She claims to not know either, but it's coming from her end. Very hurtful. My thoughts on this. Now, because this is an older comment, just give me a little bit more about what context we're talking about. Are we talking about in terms of health? Or are we talking about in terms of gaining support or emotional bits and pieces, but with it being very hurtful? So just give me a little bit more based on what that is. Okay, sweetheart? Okay. Let's have a look here. Carolina, so I'll just wait for you, Randy, to get back to me on that one. Carolina, you say, Master Kulipup, is my heart happy with the progress I'm making? I know they're only baby steps right now. So let's have a look here. Carolina, is your heart happy with the steps that you're taking, even though they are just baby steps? Yes, and this is getting much stronger to the point where I'm just like, okay, I need to hold my hand so that it doesn't, because it's like, yes, and I'm like, oh shit. The pendulum's out of control. Yes, sweetheart, you are doing wonderful. It is those baby steps that lead to those adult strides, right? Which then leads to you running, and when you can run, then you can take off, right? So you're doing wonderfully, sweetheart. Keep on going. Keep on expressing yourself too. That's something that is going to be even more so important over the next coming period. Is not only are we taking those baby steps to find your value and your worth and be who you truly are, but it is more so the expression of yourself, of that truth that you have inside you, that is going to accelerate those baby steps to being those baby strides, and those baby strides to being those runs, right? So you got this, sweetheart. You're doing really wonderfully. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, so there we go. Let's have a look here. Oh, you're very welcome for holding my sweet pea, and just snuggles and cuddles to you too, my dearest. All right, so let's have a look here. So Brandy, yes, okay, you say, she seems to have deep-seated negative feelings towards me, but I don't know why. She's just very hateful for no reason, and even when we get along, it always creeps back in. I don't know what to do anymore. You know what? Oh, Carolina, very, very good, sweetheart. Keep working on that. Keep working on it, sweetie. Right, Brandy, let's have a look for yourself. So what is it that is the main issue here? Let's have a look here. I'm just going to double check her energy right now, sweetheart. So what is that comes with that, though? I'm just feeling her. I'm just feeling her for this in this moment. Okay, what else? All right, so this is what I got for you here, Brandy. This is what it comes out as, but I got the situation here. I don't understand. So this is you. This is Brandy. This is yourself talking to me at this point, and then I have also spoken to your daughter, and this is where we're kind of coming out here. And then I've kind of made my own assessment of it. So, Brandy, this is you first. I don't understand me, and thus I don't understand why she doesn't like me at times. I need to understand my mannerisms and what creates the hostile tendencies. I look after her and the being inside, but she still just can hurt and be so mean. I like to use my energy for good, and it's too much. She has a severe dyslexia towards my energy. So a severe dyslexia, if we think of dyslexia, writing things backwards, right? Or the brain not being able to compute the letters as they go onto paper. So your daughter has a dyslexia towards your energy, where although you're giving her love and development, it's coming in and being contorted in a way where it's not being understood that way. And so when I was just like, all right, so let me have a look at why there's this dyslexia here according to your energy. And the first thing that I felt is why I went, right, is because it welled up in my throat, this frustration of expression that wasn't there, and doesn't feel like she can express, and her words are being ignored and suppressed. Her values and opinions ignored, and it causes severe frustration, so to lash out. And then I spoke to your daughter, and she said, I feel like she just won't care about who I am or how I feel, and it fucking pisses me off. She doesn't care about me, and I don't care about her, you know? So, which we know is not true. We know that you really, really do care about her. But here's the thing. What it feels like is that you have a lot you've got a lot of love to give here, Brandy. We know this. You got a lot of love to give. However, when you are expressing your love to her, it is coming across as detest or disease. Or that's how she's taking it and bringing it in. And it's because there is she feels like, well, you know, if she has a problem, you're going to kind of come in and fix it. Or try to come in and fix it and disregard her own perspective or opinion based on what that problem is. So the same way that you know how you mother a little kid? You know, when you have a 5-year-old who tells you something and when you're like, no, dear, it doesn't matter here, we're going to do it this way. It's the same kind of thing, where she is growing or trying to grow, trying to be the adult that she wants to be, trying to be who she wants to be. And there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of fear there that she does need to process herself. However, it's understanding of her own self that she needs, rather than guiding her in the understanding of how you know how to be you, if that makes sense, right? So it is supporting her to be her, and to sort out her issues the way she wants to sort them out, rather than trying to run in and save her from herself. You know, because that's what a lot of mothers tend to do. We want to save our children from themselves. And it's just like, no, we got to let them be themselves. Will they go through hardships and hard times? Fuck yeah. But how are they going to learn? How are they going to know how strong they are, or what they need to improve on, or how they can sort problem solve and get over things, if we are always fixing things for them, or saying, or if they're voicing their perspective and their opinion, we take it in but quickly discard it, you know, and say, oh, well, you need to do this instead, you know. And that's what the issue is here, is she just doesn't feel like she's a person, or that her opinion or perspectives are literally valued with you. So, and the thing is, though, when you can understand yourself more and know exactly how you are giving off your loving and nurturing energy, and sometimes it's just about stepping back and just being like, you know what, kiddo, I can't tell you what to do here, because I know you're going to do whatever you want to do. I can tell you my perspective on the situation, but other than that, that's all I can do. But it doesn't matter what you decide. Shoot, I'll be there to give you guidance if you need it, but if not, like, I trust you to take care of yourself the way you feel that you need to take care of yourself with. And when she makes a decision, you can be like, all right, let's roll with that and see what happens, you know? As long as that decision isn't to her direct, you know, deterioration. If she's just like, I'm going to slit my wrist, like, definitely do not support that decision. But, you know, sorry, I know that was a really extreme thingy, but, you know, it's hard when we are going through negativity like this. But if you can offer her guidance, but still accept her, you know, for whatever it is. When she sits there and she's talking to you, listen to her not as your daughter, Listen to her as you would listen to a friend who just wants to vent, and where you're just like, oh yeah. Try to take off the mother glasses for a moment and treat her as a grown woman and as a person, right? And not somebody that you need to take care of or that you need to solve problems for, because she can do that her damn self. She just wants to know that you see her, right? Thank you, sweetheart. I'm glad that resonated. Alrighty. So let's have a look here. Hazel, Brandy, you say, thank you so much for knowing my good intentions. I promise to work on this. Bless you, Kulipup. No, sweetheart, I can't help but see your good intentions. It's just, again, understanding that not everybody will see them in the way that you want to deliver them, right? So we just got to switch it up a bit. Anyway, Hazel, are you still traveling to the States when the borders open? If I can get there freely, then I don't mind. But the thing is, though, there is not one chance in hell that I am getting vaccinated, nor is there a chance in hell that you will ever see me wear a mask. So there are those little bits of constraints that are there, because I will not conform to that under any circumstances for anybody, right? So if that time comes for me to do that, then so be it. Otherwise, I will be wherever the freedom takes me most. So yeah, that's what I got for you, Hazel. But I would love to. But like I say, there ain't nothing there is no muzzle that is coming on this face. Because that's what that mask is. It's just a muzzle. And I'm like, I refuse with that one. All right then. So my gorgeous ones, it is now 4:53 my time. So I've been on for approximately 3 hours now, or just under. So I'm going to come to a conclusion for today so I can go have some water and food and do all the bits and pieces I need to do. But I'd just like to say thank you so very much for joining me on such a long lesson earlier, and also for some wonderful readings and interactions as well afterwards, which I think is amazeballs. Also, thank you again so much for all of your guys' support that you do give me. Because as we are talking about support, you guys do give me such wonderful love and such wonderful support. And I thank you so much again for all of the donations, the financial support that you help me with. Because again, I do not charge anything for this, and I still have bills to pay and everything like that. So I really do appreciate your support as it comes through. I also appreciate your focus, for letting me express my words to you and get all of these thoughts out. So I thank you so very much for being there to listen to not only my words, but to listen to my heart and let me express this to you. I love you so very much for it. I'd also like to thank you as well, for those of you who do take my words and do take my perspective and use them to better yourselves, or use them to find more peace or more serenity or more joy in your everyday life. Like, what a wonderful use of my energy, right? What a fantastic use of my energy. And I will continuously give that out for you guys to just suck it all up and hopefully just find your strength and your peace. And it's absolutely amazeballs. Things to look out for. I am finding that I do require more time to myself recently. So I may not be as active on Messenger or on appointments or so forth in the next coming week or two, just because I really actually want to focus on my pendulum book, right? It's funny because another wonderful lady had mentioned to me, she's like, oh, that's like creating your own tarot. And I was just like, yeah, I guess so, right? But I do want to get this pendulum book created and also get your input on some of the other questions that you guys ask. But I will be putting in there the most of the common questions that I get asked more so, and making wheels for them, and also inner work and so forth. So as I create this book, you'll be able to literally just pick up your pendulum and just be like, let your energy show you where you need to go. And for all sorts of things. So I really want to focus on that. And not only that, I want to get back to giving you guys some more proper lessons and doing some more discussions, because I really, really do enjoy that with you guys. So anything else that I need to mention? It is Sunday. I will be back for general readings and guidance on Wednesday, but in the meantime, I will want to be starting to express some other lessons. The next lesson I wanted to teach was going to be on how to either paint or draw or create using sentience flow, right? And one of the main things that I want you guys to do is to draw with me or paint with me or get your supplies ready and let the energy guide your hands so you can see what your energy looks like. And then decipher all the messages and codes that are going to come through it as you're doing it. So it's going to be absolutely amazeballs. So I will give you guys much more notice for that lesson so that you can get all of your supplies ready. I will have my supplies ready as well. Hopefully some better lighting, and we'll have some wonderful, wonderful times. Ivory, you're awesome. I love you guys. I love you so much, and thank you so much for your support. My support is always with you as well. Alrighty. So that's it from me for this Sunday. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate, eat clean, get a lot of rest. And if you feel my energy beside you, I'm going to give you some snuggles. All right? So just don't freak out. I'll go give me like snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. I love you so much. Bye, sweethearts.